Hi everyone, this is Claudine Helmuth and I'm excited to share with you today my ice cream truck printable kit. So this is what the kit looks like when it's all put together, and you can open up the lid and inside there's a cupcake holder for one cupcake, and that's removable, so you could just fill this with sweets or treats or even just a small gift or something like that. It doesn't have to be a cupcake holder. And one variation on the kit is you can cut out the window and just add a little piece of acetate instead. This is just a piece of inkjet printable acetate that I happen to have on hand, but you could get acetate from the craft store or something like that. You could try using saran wrap, but that's a little flexible, a little unwieldy to use, and all I did was tape that in. And I would recommend just choosing one of the windows so that you can't see straight through to the other side, but it's really kind of a cute little variation on the kit to be able to see the cupcake through there. So this is how the ice cream truck comes to you once you print it out on your PDF. So we've got 3 pages for the ice cream truck, and then 1 page for the cupcake holder, and you're going to want to cut around all of the outside lines. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So all the pieces are cut out, and that took me probably about 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes, just to kind of give you the idea on cutting everything out. And then I have the cupcake holder also cut out, and don't forget to cut out the hole before you assemble it for the cupcake. So let's start scoring all of these little dotted lines. We need to score all of them there so that way the paper will fold nicely. And here's my little trick for scoring. I like to use a catalog, or now I've recently found a notebook pad works really great. Any kind of pad of paper. And let's see, then I'm going to get my ruler and I'm going to line it up with the dotted lines, and you want to allow a little bit of room for a pen. Now this is a ballpoint pen that I've removed the ink from, and this works perfect as a scoring tool. And you're just going to line that up and then draw down maybe a couple of times so that it makes a nice score line. So you can kind of see that ridge there a little bit, and then that's what's going to make that fold really nice and cleanly. Now the paper that I like to work on is Staples matte photo paper. It's just a generic paper, but it prints beautifully, and it's a great weight for gift boxes and favor boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and score all of the lines. Once everything is scored, now you want to fold it, just to kind of pre-fold it before we start assembling. So along every single one of the dotted lines that has been scored, and some of them I like to fold backwards and forwards just to get a really good fold. So then you can see there how that's going to go together. Now we need to apply glue. So I'm going to set the cupcake holder aside. We'll finish that at the end. First we will assemble the ice cream truck. So every single lettered tab gets glue or tape. So there's only a few. It's really on these 2. And what I like to use to tape is a tape runner. You can use glue stick or one of the smaller types of tape runners. This just works really, really well, and you get really good adhesion, and it's very quick. So if you're doing a bunch of these, you might want to invest in one of these. So all I do is go straight down across all of the tabs. You want to make sure you got it everywhere. And I try to go fairly close to the fold. So you can kind of see there. And I don't worry that I have this little bit of excess there. I can just snip that with my scissors, and that will be fine. So it's faster just to tape all the way across. And then same thing here. Even though this has a big old flap, that's just for stability, I want to tape close to the fold. So now we can start assembling. So this is the back of the truck. And we need to, it's kind of obvious that both sides of the truck will fit up against it. So you want to get in there really close and make sure that the bottom of the pink is even with the fold and that you're right up close to that fold. There we go. And then same thing for the other side. And get right up close to the fold there. There we go. And then press to secure. So now you can kind of see how that's going to come together. Now we need to put the front of the truck on. So I'm just going to snip those little bits of excess tape. And this part, this is the most fiddly part, but once you get this down, the rest is simple. So first I'm going to take, I could go on either side. I'm just going to start with this side. And it's easier if you can kind of get those flaps down and out of the way. So we're going to start with this big tab here. And just really... Sometimes I like to hold the flap down like this and then line up those edges and then release the flap. And then that way I'm not fighting with this flap that's kind of gluey. And then G is pretty obvious where this one goes, just right in there. And you want to kind of press that in. And then this H tab goes right there. Hopefully you could see that. My fingers weren't covering it up too much, but if it was, we still have the other side to do. So again, fold these flaps down, and I'm going to hold this E flap down. Let's see. And then let me aim it here at the camera so that you can see. And I'm going to line that up and then release the tab. Once I know I've got it where I want it, I can press and secure it. And then let me fold this down out of the way, this bottom part, so you can see. D falls into place. There, can you see that? D falls into place right there. And then C is pretty obvious. That goes right like that. And then you just press to secure. So that wasn't too bad. Just a little, you just have to get the angles right, see? Okay, so now we've got our bottom. That will close all up, but we don't want to add any tape to the bottom yet. And then the top, that will close nicely for us there. So it's all put together. Now this would be finished if you wanted to just use it as a gift box. You could add tape to the bottom. I'll show you my little trick for getting tape into the bottom without making a total mess. And then, so you could just use this as a regular gift box, but let's add the cupcake holder. So for the cupcake holder, we're just going to add tape to all the lettered tabs again. My sort of system for the printables is if it's got a letter on it on one of my printables, that's where tape is going to go. If there's not a letter on the tab, you're not going to glue or tape it. And this is pretty easy. You just fold these little tabs over and then secure, making a little box shape like that. Now, the reason that you don't want to secure the bottom of the truck is this is how we've got to get it in there. Now, on the cupcake holder, it says this is the back, this side towards the back of the truck. And there's a reason for that, because I've aimed it so that that way, if you do the open window, the cupcake will be right over the window. So let's just open up the bottom again. And we're going to make sure that this side is towards the back of the truck. And we're going to set it in like that. And then we're going to close it. This is much easier than fighting it to get inside. Oh, and if you want to add tape, let me just show you quickly. I just tape close to the fold there. Cupcake holder's already inside. And then what I do is I hold this part up and slide it all the way in, and then I press this part down so that it's secure. So now it's all taped on the bottom. And now our little cupcake holder's inside, ready for us to add a cupcake like that. And then we can close the lid. And we are done. As a little finishing touch, I would recommend adding maybe a clear circle sticker or something like that, just to hold your cupcake holder closed, your little ice cream truck closed, because then that way you don't have to worry about the lid popping open or something like that. And don't forget, you can also add the little extra bonus of cutting out the window so that your guests can see the cupcake inside. I hope that you've enjoyed this ice cream truck printable kit, and you can find it over in my Etsy store.